All right, let's dive into something that's a huge deal for pretty much every educator out there. How to turn the online classroom from, let's be honest, a sometimes frustrating experience into a place where students are actually engaged in learning. We're going to build a blueprint, a real game plan for better virtual teaching. And it all starts with a feeling I'm pretty sure you've had. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're pouring your heart into a lesson you've spent hours on. You look up at your screen, and what do you see? A grid of black boxes, silent icons. You ask a question, and you just hear crickets. That feeling of teaching into a void is tough, but it really doesn't have to be a reality. And to get a sense of just how high the stakes are, look at this number. 1,000. Some online programs are teaching over 1,000 students every single year. Now, when you're working at that kind of scale, a tiny little hiccup can spiral into a massive problem. So having a solid, proven strategy isn't just a nice to have anymore, it's absolutely essential. So, how do we crack this code? Well, we're going to learn from an expert. This is Sarah Crox. She's an EMS educator at UCLA, and she is literally in the trenches, managing a huge hybrid program with hundreds of students. The stuff we're about to go over isn't just theory from a book. These are battle-tested methods that actually work in the real world. Okay, first things first. Before we can even talk about teaching strategies, we have to talk about tech. You've got to get your setup dialed in. The best way to think about it is like building your own mission control. This is the foundation you need for a smooth launch, every single time. And here is pro tip number 1, a total game changer, the dual monitor setup. Sarah Crox swears by this. It's super simple. On one screen, you have your presenter view, all your notes, your controls, the whole shebang. On the other screen, you see exactly what your students see. This one little change gives you complete control and ends that feeling of, can you guys see my screen? Forever. Think of this as your pre-flight checklist. 3 tiny tweaks in your settings that make a massive difference. First, go into Zoom and set your noise reduction to high. It's amazing for killing background noise. Second, please mute those annoying ding-dong sounds for when people join or leave. And third, if you're going to use breakout rooms, just make them ahead of time. It avoids all that awkward fumbling around during the actual class. So, your tech is perfect. Your mission control is ready for launch. But that's just the launch pad. The real mission, the hard part, is keeping your students engaged. How do you fight back against that sea of black boxes and get them to actually participate? The secret weapon here is variety. You simply cannot lecture for an hour straight and expect anyone to stay with you. You need a balanced strategy. Mix things up. Use quick polls for a temperature check. Use breakout rooms for real collaboration. You can even use cool AI-generated visuals to make your points pop. When you keep it varied, you keep them on their toes. Now, let's just zoom in on one of those tools for a second because it is probably the most powerful one in your arsenal, breakout rooms. If you're not using them, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. All they are is little temporary mini groups that shift students from just passively listening to actively discussing and problem solving with each other. And this quote really gets to the absolute heart of it. This is about a fundamental mindset shift. You're not just a broadcaster beaming information at your students. You are a facilitator, creating an environment where they can engage with the material and, this is the important part, with each other. That's where the real learning sticks. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is great, but how am I supposed to manage the tech, the chat, the polls, and teach at the same time? It feels overwhelming, especially with a big class. But here's the secret. You are not alone, or at least you shouldn't be. It's time to build a support crew. The strategy is beautifully simple. Divide and conquer. As the host, the main instructor, you have one job: deliver amazing content. That's it. Your co-host handles everything else. They're managing the waiting room, taking attendance, answering questions in the chat, and being the go-to for tech support. This teamwork is what turns chaos into a smooth, well-oiled machine. Think of your co-host as your shield. They are your first line of defense. Their job is to protect your focus and the flow of the lecture. So when a student's audio cuts out or they have a quick question, the co-host intercepts it. That lets you stay in the zone and keep the whole class moving forward without constant interruptions. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from tech to teamwork. So now let's pull it all together into a practical, ultimate blueprint that you can use to upgrade your very next online class. This is your action plan. It really boils down to these 4 key pillars. 1, Prepare your mission control. Your tech setup is the foundation for everything. 2, build your support crew. Don't try to fly the plane and serve the drinks at the same time. 3, master your interactive tools. Make that crucial shift from lecturer to facilitator. And 4, always have a backup plan, because tech will fail and you want it to be a tiny blip, not a total catastrophe. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The world of education has fundamentally changed. That's just a reality. The tools and the strategies to not just survive, but to thrive in this new environment are all here. They're proven to work. The only question left is your strategy ready for it?